Hello, everyone. This is a continuing uh, series that I started last year, last summer, mostly for my sister, my beloved sister. This was the only way I could really get a large video out so she could view it. But it's for anybody else that maybe happens to stumble on one of these videos. This is right now. This is called springtime. Walk in the yard with Karl, with a beer. How about that? With a beer. This is a new series. So I'm getting ready to kind of go around the yard now, and you'll notice as I'm walking through the yard, um, there's a lot of yellow and brown spots in the lawn, and that's because I've decided to attack. We've had an unusually cool spring, and it's supposed to be cool for the next couple weeks. And so I decided to attack the lawn, kill the weeds, and try to grow some new grass, overseed. And normally you don't do that this time of the year because it usually is hotter and the sun is getting higher in the sky. And usually any grass that you start growing, as it germinates and starts growing, it will get burned and died. Fall is always the best time because the sun gets lower in the sky, especially up here. We're up here in western New York, Buffalo, New York, and our sun gets in the fall. It gets lower in the sky, so it's not as intense. So I decided to go on the offensive, and we'll see. Right now, the old grass is starting to come in, but so far nothing has germinated. No new grass. I planted it. I think I did it this last Wednesday. This is Sunday. And I plant a combination 50-50, perennial rye and bluegrass. And the reason for that is bluegrass is the king, but bluegrass takes so long to germinate. It usually takes 3 to 4 weeks, where rye will germinate in like a week. So then as the new grass, the rye is germinating and growing, the bluegrass starts to come in. So it takes a while. So we're supposed to have cool temperatures now for the next 2 3 weeks. So we'll see if it's like a big gamble, especially with grass, because there's so many factors. We've had 3 days now of steady rain, and I couldn't have asked for more perfect conditions to try to grow some grass. So we've got everything, all of our new plants that we got this year. We got everything planted except one, which I'll show you when I get out there. I'm not sure where we're going to put it. So without further ado, we're gonna get into it. Okay, well, I'm gonna take my sip of beer to get me going, and I don't know if I'll be able to film and drink at the same time. Maybe as I get better, I'll be able to do that. But right now, so I'm gonna take a little sip and then we'll get going. Good. Okay. Okay, we're going to start out here. If you remember watching last year, I had in this spot here, I was trying to resurrect a dwarf Japanese maple that we had planted out front that I dug up, and I'm trying to resurrect it, but it just got looking more and more dismal. And I decided to get rid of it, and I used the pot to plant my candy corn spirea out there. So that I think that's gonna be a nice spot for that. So our two pots here are these are ornamental black peppers. And normally I grow these from seed, but we found these at one of our nurseries. And I did go ahead and I had some seeds from last year that I put in the soil. As you can see, nothing's popped up. It takes about 3 weeks. So these right here are 2 transplanted plants I did in the very early spring. These are a salvia. These are skullcaps. And I used to have them out in that area, but they were in the direct sun all day, and the leaves would get burnt, and the more I looked into it, I realized that they can't take full sun all day. So I moved them over here, and this one, I don't know, this one didn't look like it was going to go, but it's hanging in there. This one is doing very well. So we'll see how those come out. These are right now one of our local nurseries grows these, and we tried them last year, and they just were phenomenal. They bloomed all summer, and they just kept getting. If you cut the old blooms off, they just keep regenerating all summer. I mean, and as you can see, these just look freaking perfect. I mean, the flowers are beautiful. They're a mini dahlia. This is our Zabgrab. This is a Gaylord Gayfeather or Gaylord. I had split these, which I explained, last summer. I had split these in 3 different places, and they're just starting to come in doing very well. This is looking really good. The original one was down there. I had dug it up, and I split it and then put the other one here. This is a very disappointing bush, and I'm planning on, not this summer, because this summer I am 2 weeks I'm getting my shoulder done. Next summer I'm going to get rid of these. These are a summer sweet bush, and as you can see, they're just so slow coming in. That one is coming in pretty good, but they don't really bloom until like into the middle of July, and then they only last for a while. So these are going, and I don't know what we're going to put in here. Maybe a limelight tree. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to put in something that gets a little taller. We have a red light, firelight hydrangea over there, the first one, and when they start blooming, they stay red. All these other turn white. So I think I might put 2 of those in there instead, but we'll see. These are tiny tidbits right here. They're doing well. This is a little limey. As you can see, they're all doing really good. It's just been very, when it does get blooms, the fragrance is unbelievable, but it just is so slow, and it's like ugh. So this is another Gaylord. This is another Zabgrab. This is my candy corn spirea, and as you can see, our red bud is just starting to leaf out. When it does get leaf out, I mean, you've seen the other pictures. The leaves get so huge. It's like it's just so beautiful. I love this tree. And as you can see, we've had our arborist come out in the spring. He came out in mid-March, and he did a lot of trimming on the lower part of the tree, because it was growing so fast. The branches were just the lower branches were just dwarfing everything over here. So we're trying to eventually canopy this so that it has a canopy above, maybe like the fence line and the awning. We'll see. As you can see, the lawn is a disaster. This is that candy corn spirea that I had transplanted out of that. It wasn't a smaller pot. It was so root bound, it was crazy. I couldn't go a day without watering it. But hopefully this will, a little bigger pot, newer soil. It'll once this gets going, it looks beautiful. This is a real success story. This tree. This is a Hot Wings maple. And when we put this in, we put it in the later part in the fall of 2022. And it did okay. It did okay. I think we put it in August. And so our arborist has told us with a lot of trees, there's a three-step model. The first year they sleep, the second year they creep, and the third year they leap. So as you can see, this is the third year, and it is leaping. It is like, I was getting ready to cut this thing down and put something else here, but it is just, it's amazing. So I keep saying that, amazing. These are, as you can see, the daffodils they've done. These are another go-to annual that we always put in. These are lantanas, and these are a new plant that I don't think they're going to make it. We just had 3 days of rain, and they're already looking like droopy. I don't know what's going on with these. It's like, I don't know if the tree is sucking up all the water out of here. It's I don't know what's going on with that, and I can't remember the name of those plants. But this is this is a mum that I planted 2 years ago, and it continues to come back right there, and it's weird. So again, we go to our other prize. This is my other prize. This is a quick fire hydrangea, and this thing, I trimmed it back by a third in the early March, but this thing must love this spot. This is in full sun all day, and as you can see, it's just exploding. So then we go out here to this is our berm area. I just planted these this year. These are cosmos plants. They look pretty good so far. Hopefully they will. These are kind of a dwarf variety. They don't get real tall. We'll see. I can't remember the name of the grass. This grass will turn like a red leaf. I can't remember the name of the grass. These are our go-to salvia. These are blue suede shoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we also have 3 over there, and we have 2 in pots over there. These are the hummingbirds just go after these, and so here we have some coneflowers that are slow to come out, and then we have, these are coneflowers, and so we'll see. And we hold off putting mulch down, because these trees back here are cottonwood trees, and they just flood this whole area. If I put mulch down, I'd be constantly going through and picking out cottonwood seedlings. These are 2 little cosmos that I had planted last year, and they are coming up from seeds that must have fallen off the original plant. Weird. So this is the other plant. When we get over here, this is our area that we call Florida. It's kind of in the shape of Florida. This is that's Miami down here. This is the Panhandle. This is a blanket flower that we might put here, but some of our other blanket flowers are being slow to come up because we've had such cool weather. So I don't know, I'm holding off planting it and seeing if one of those other ones comes back. This is our Calycanthus. As you can see, it's doing very well. Those are the other blue suede shoes. Geraniums. These are some more tiny tidbits that are doing very well. This is another grass like the ones that are out there, and I wish I could remember the name of the grass, but These three that are just starting to come up are hibiscus, red hibiscus, and um, they look like they always do very well. This is another dwarf cone flower, doesn't get too tall. This is a blanket flower, yellow blanket flower that is coming back pretty good. It came back last year, so this is another success story. We've had problems with our blanket flowers coming back, but so far they all look like they're coming back this year. And that is a big reason, is that I didn't trim them back. I normally, would trim everything, deadhead everything like in the fall, like in November. But I was told that these should be left to just go to seed and not do any deadheading or anything. So I did. I left them all winter, and I guess it's working. This is another cone flower, and these are black onyx pearls. These things, I love the color of the leaf. And when they flower, it's a beautiful white flower. The only problem is that it doesn't last long. It'll start flowering here probably in another couple weeks. Last year it was flowering already because we had a really warm spring. But after it flowers, I usually cut the flowers back, and the leaves, it just stays red all right up into the fall. So I just wish the flowers would last a little longer. But this is our limelight tree. It's doing very well. I think it likes the spot. Another blue suede shoes. These are alliums. As you can see, they're doing pretty good. This is a new plant. It's called, it'll come to me in a minute. I saw it at one of the nurseries. This is a perennial. I have high hopes for it. It looks like it likes this spot so far. And this year, when I planted all this stuff, I tried something different. When I mixed up my soil, I bought a couple bags of Milorganite, and Milorganite is very rich in nitrogen, and I mixed that in with all the soil, that I used when I planted all this stuff. And I don't know, and then I use some biotone plus some bumper crop in there. So I don't know if a combination of all that, everything that I've planted so far is doing very well. This is a vanilla strawberry hydrangea. I had to cut this back because it was getting so big last year. It was dwarfing the trellises that I put in here. So I cut it back on this side, and it looks kind of lopsided. But when you're looking at it from up there, you can't see that it's kind of cut back here. These, I just planted these this year, and already they're doing great. These are honeysuckle. I can't remember the different. This is a different color than, it's a honeysuckle major wheeler, but it's a different color than what we have up there. This is kind of like an orange variegated, and as you can see, it really likes this area. Let me just take a minute and get this baby. Trying to prop it up here. Likes this. This is another blanket flower that it came back last year, and now it's coming back pretty good this year. These are three more of the mini dahlias that we have over there that I showed you earlier. I probably should cut these flowers off, deadhead them, because anyways. So these are purple flux plants. They're doing very well. This is because we've been so cool. This is a blank flower. It's trying to come back, and that's why I've held off planting that, because we don't know. I don't know if this is going to come up. These are a Helleborus. These 1, 2, 3, 4. They have like a daisy-like flower, and I had one planted here, but it didn't come back. So I planted another blanket flower here this year. These are quick-fire hydrangeas, and last year a section of this one kind of died. So what my plan was in early March, when I did all my pruning, I decided to cut this right back and let it regenerate itself. And so far that plan seems to be working. Got a lot of new growth, and I'm gonna just let it go. And then when it gets to when it maybe gets up maybe waist high, what I'll do is I'll cut the main shoots so that it branches off. But I love these. I've had these quick fire for I want to say maybe 15 years, a long time. These are our Oriole feeders. We now have other birds that are partaking in this, in our treat up there. This is a hydrangea called Pinky Winky, and as you can see, it's doing very well. Another blanket flower that's trying to come back. This is a red firelight that when this gets going, this is like another star of the yard. The blooms they are just so beautiful. They stay red. It's great. This is another blanket flower that's because we've had such cool weather. It's trying to come back, but I don't know if it. Well, we'll see. And this is our neighbor's out of control crabapple tree, which next week when I get ready to mow the lawn, I'm going to take my my hedge trimmer, and I usually cut all this back right back to the fence level, because you usually see it'll take over everything. This first one is a major wheeler, honeysuckle major wheeler. It's doing very well. This comes out with like a red flower. You can see there's a flower already, starting. These are usually the first things to bloom. But as you can see, it's very healthy. These I planted last summer, and it's the honeysuckle family, but it's called a sensation, and it puts out a yellow flower. So as you can see, it's not as aggressive as the regular honeysuckle, but so we're hoping that last year these did so well. Were so out of control that they spread over to each of these trellises. As you can see now, I'm trying to feed these back so that they grow down and maybe the lower part fills out, but we'll see. These are there's two more blue suede shoes. We put those there in pots so the hummingbirds would come up and we'd be able to see the hummingbirds better. These 1, 2, 3, 4 over there plants are they're called blue kazoo spirea, and this year I cut them right back within 6 inches of the ground, and as you can see, they've already just exploded. And after they finish, this is the flower. They put out a nice white flower. After they flower, I'm going to trim all this back, and then it'll start to regenerate itself. This is another big success story here. This is a fine line buckthorn that I used to have planted in another area, and it struggled for years in this area, in which I found out that I think it was last summer, I think, or the summer before, I found out that I had a leak in one of my irrigation lines, and every time I would water, this whole area would get flooded, and this tree just struggled. But as you can see, and once I fixed the leak, this thing is just like taken off. So I believe that it was getting overwatered, and that was the problem, which I didn't realize it until I found the leak over there. As your window planters would drink, I'm not going to do. Last year I tried some sweet potato vines on this one, and the sweet potato vines just took over. They just took over everything, and it was climbing all down the railing. It was just out of control. So I'm not doing those. They're a very aggressive plant. Normally we have a bougainvillea here, but we couldn't find any at any of the nurseries. We did find some, but they didn't look that good. And I usually put a pot here and let it train up the railing, but we haven't found one so far. And this is another weird mystery anomaly with the maple. This maple, I mean, the leaves that have come out are just bigger than they've ever been, and it looks great. But there's a lot of sections in here that have no leaves, and I'm kind of holding off from trimming them to see if something, will. I don't know what to do with this, but it's just I'm holding off because we've had a cool spring, and our arborist said that these trees are very finicky, and when there's either a frost or different temperature things, it changes, it affects their growth. But as you can see, it's most of it is doing very well. So anyways, so that's, and I probably realized I just had it all on Zoom, and that's probably why it was. I hope it's not going to be okay. These are more lantanas. I had tried last year. I bought 2 more of those grasses. Those are Japanese seagrass, and I planted one up there and one here, but they didn't make it. So we decided to just, once these lantanas get going, they just explode. That's why I had to raise my height of my sprinkler heads, because they got so tall and so big that the sprinkler head, it wasn't getting out normally when I have this, so I can water this whole area. So this is our finch feeder that is probably in the wrong spot. When I get around to it, I'm going to relocate it probably along the fence somewhere. My wife wants to, when the finches, are a beautiful bird, so she wants to try to get them in here. These are this is called a smooth hydrangea, and so far I'm not sure about why some of it is coming out with smaller leaf and bigger leaf. Normally this really leafs out really big, so I don't know what's going on with this. This is another hydrangea. This is it's called a PG hydrangea, and as you can see, this has just been doing. This is another star performer of the yard. Really good performer. This I put in last year. It's a new hydrangea. It's called Wee Bit Grumpy, and I put it in here because it's not supposed to get too tall. But I'm not too sure about why I don't see any new sprouts on this hydrangea, this type of hydrangea. You're not supposed to trim. You're not supposed to trim it back, because if you trim it back, it blooms on old wood. So a lot of these other hydrangeas, they will bloom on new and old wood. But so I'm holding off to see if I get any growth out of these before I trim them back. But I don't think right now. I don't think they are. This, I used to have another Gaylord in here, and I decided to do something different. And I saw this at one of our nurseries. It's called a lupin. And what happened was it was a lot bigger, but it used to have, as you can see where I trimmed it back, it used to have a really tall, big flower. But I think a rabbit got in here and was nibbling at the stuff, and because all the leaves were knocked down, and I thought I was going to have to replace it, but I trimmed all the leaves, and it's coming back. So I got high hopes. Some more of these Japanese seagrass. These are doing good. I don't know about this one. It's questionable. We'll have to wait and see. But the rest of them look like they're doing good. This is our twisted cherry. The arborist really did a lot of work on this, and we had some disease in this that I've battled for the last summer before. Last summer I really battled it, and this summer I use a fungicide called copper sulfate on this, and I was using neem oil before. So as you can see, it's really exploding. So I got to get in here. I usually wait till I'm going to mow the lawn to when I trim all this so that I blow all the stuff out of there. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are Bobos hydrangeas, and as you can see, they're all doing very well. These are another big success story. These are twist and shout hydrangeas, and I tried last year, summer before last. I tried. These will send out a lot of shoots. I have some more over there. I'll show you. But what I did was I put cages up. And I've been trying to train them to grow above the cage, because these will send out shoots along the ground, and it was just always a pain in the ass. So far it's doing good, and I'm holding off too to trim a lot of stuff because everything's been so cool. I wanted to go and trim some of the stuff that's not producing anything, but you know, some of these, when I start looking at it, I do see some bloom, so I'm holding off with trimming all that. So and here again you can see the demolition that I did on my lawn. Hopefully that something will start growing. Some more pots. This is a new kind of a sweet potato vine. Marie found it, my wife found it, and we're going to try that out. Okay, the last of the tour, as you can see, I'm demolishing the yard, but these are some more twist and shout that I don't have on cages, and as you can see, they tend to shoot out runners right from the base, and it gets kind of out of control. So I'm holding off. These are more corabels. I'm holding off with trimming any of this stuff until I see what really comes in. Usually what I do is I go back, and after everything really starts coming in, I go back and trim some of the dead wood, because these hydrangeas are weird, because these big branches last year were full of leaf and flower, but then all of a sudden next year nothing comes out of it. So I haven't been able to figure it out, and I don't know. Corabels, which are looking very well, and this I have written down that I cannot remember the name of it. I have it written down, and I was going to try to get that out so I'd have this. I've been trimming this the wrong way. You're supposed to wait until after it flowers, and then once the flowers are spent, then it goes through kind of like a growth spurt, and I don't know, it's not looking that great. So this is going to be another work in progress. So so that concludes the spring walk in the yard with Karl, and I got to get back to some more beer drinking, because you can never do enough yard work without enough beer. I mean, that's a given. So anyways, I will do another one of these when stuff starts coming in a lot better, flowering, another walking. So I don't know what I'll call that one. I don't know if I'll do it with beer. I don't know if I'll do it. Maybe I'll have a margarita. Maybe it'll be walking the yard with a margarita with Karl. Ooh. Or maybe a mojito. Ooh. Of course, if I start drinking those, by the time I get done, you'll see me sleeping out in the yard somewhere. Anyways, Cheryl, it was nice walking with you. You'll have to do a tour of your Newport garden, and I look forward to seeing that. So, on that note, bye.